Well, what led me to have a passion and a desire to start the Offender Alumni Association was from my own lived life experiences. I had been in and out of prison. I'm really what society would call a repeat offender. So I didn't go to Tutwiler one time. I actually went 3 times. And it was that third incarceration that really changed my life. It was like an awakening for me. And I knew I did not want my life to end the way that it had been going. And so when I got out, I wanted to give back, and I got involved with Prison Fellowship Ministries because they had been the ones who ministered to me while I was in prison. And I became a volunteer with them. And I met this individual. His name was Myrie Talbert. He was the area director for Prison Fellowship, and he was a former offender. And I remember him telling me, he said, if you want to learn how to stay out of prison, jump in my back pocket. Now, I thought he was just being arrogant and egotistical. But then when I got in my quiet time and I thought about that, I'm like, he got what I want. I want what he got, you know? And so I said, I need to learn from him because there's some truth to that. He had been in prison on numerous occasions. And now here he was working for a national ministry and leading a whole entire geographical area. And so I did that. And then in 2000, a job became available with Prison Fellowship, and I applied for it and I received it. I was offered the position as a program coordinator. And over the time, 19 years, I moved from program coordinator to manager to field director to regional director. But I always knew there was something missing. We trained a lot of volunteers. The individuals or the population that we mainly target to actually be the ones who went inside or behind the prison walls was the church. But what I wasn't seeing was the individuals who had the lived experience, like me and Chuck Colson, for example. I can remember being with Chuck Colson doing events. And Chuck would, at the end of his presentation or speech or whatever you want to call it, he would say, I want my alumni brothers and sisters to join me on stage. And I remember the first time being in the audience and him doing that and him saying, you too, Deborah. And so that stuck with me. That really stuck with me. Him calling us his alumni brothers and sisters. Those were Chuck Colson's words, right? So as the years went on, I realized there was a missing component. And that component was us. We were not actually being engaged to be part of the solution. I mean, there were lots of programs for us, about us. There was a lot of monies that was being designated to help us, but we were still ending up in the same predicament that we were in. Because who better to walk with me? Who better to show me that path than someone who has already traveled that journey? And so, it was my heart and passion as men and women were coming out is to see us come together as a body, as a unit, to support one another in ways that society or any program could not do. Because who knows how it feels to be incarcerated at Christmas time and miss your family? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or have to go to bed and you're sitting there and all of these thoughts are going through your head. Then somebody who has actually lived through that. So it was important. It was very important that something happened that brought us together to work together, to unify ourselves, to become part of the solution. And that's what OAA's mission and purpose is all about is creating a network of former offenders who inspire each other to reduce crime, develop healthy relationships in their families, and promote opportunities for social, civic, and economic empowerment.